All right, all right, all right, all right. Oh, where's my lighting? Not too good, huh? Oh, I thought I had. Let me see. Do I have it? I don't have my lighting. Oh, I hope you can see me. Let me go get some lighting. I'll be right back. Okay, I think that'll work for me. Shalom, shalom. Oh, no, not really. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I am screaming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Most High. I'm sorry. I'm screaming, Father. Mm-mm-mm. I'm sorry. Do I have to scream? No. But that's my way of saying I'm sorry for all of us on all of our behalf. So the loudness comes from many. I say unto the Most High God that I am saying I'm sorry. We are sorry. Those who don't know that they should be sorry. Those who know that they are sorry. Those who don't understand how important it is to be sorry. I know. For what? I know we all are perfect, excellent, great, wonderful people. And there's nothing for us to be sorry about. That's the mindset. But I, Sister Deborah, I am screaming, Father, Father, Yah, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm to the point where I am so sorry. I'm sorry for the things that he has continued to reveal to me, to show me. It's like, are you listening, Deborah? Deborah, are you listening? Do you hear me? And I'm sorry that he find the need to continue to climb on top of what he already told me. I'm sorry, Father. But you know what I'm not sorry about? That he knows the heart of each and every last one of us. I give him all glory and honor and praise for having such the authority to be able to know every heart of each and every last one of us. Like I say, there's some that don't even know what they need to be sorry for. There's some that can't say I'm sorry. There's some that will not say I'm sorry. But I got a greater reason to scream loud, Father, Yah, I'm sorry. Because, you know, more and more things being spoken unto me, it's just a reason to say to him on this devil platform. So all the devils out there can understand. This is one sister that could say and scream to the mountaintop, Father Yah, I'm sorry, Father Yah, I'm sorry. And he already knows. And he said with a small, quiet voice, a short, quiet voice, you are my child. You are my child. And I just thank him for allowing me to be just that. I thank the Most High for allowing me to be just that. I'm going to tell y'all something I feel sorry about. How many times he said to me, it's finished. How many times have he said it's over? How many times did he say it in Deuteronomy 28 until they are destroyed? How many times must he say that over and over to me? Why? Because he cares enough for me to make sure that I remember the things in which he have said unto me. Because where he taking me now is like you can't pull the verses in the scriptures out and try to teach anyone in this day and time, Deborah. Because you got to consider the fact that a lot of what people are battling with and what people are going through and what people are debating and arguing and fussing about, he said, Deborah, a lot of things is what was from the beginning. They fighting over today. So I want you to understand who I am down in the ground roots of what I stand for. He said something to me. I'm gonna tell you, let me say this here right now. I think I need to say this right now. You know, I was in he said a whole bunch to me today while I was washing dishes. What happened is I had a lot of people over, a lot of family members over yesterday. And we had such a beautiful time. I don't know if y'all ever heard a family where the elder, which was my mother, she's 86 going on 87, she did a speech. Now I told her a month ago that get her speech ready, because when I have this on the 29th, that I want her to give a speech to her her grandchildren, her children, you know, her family. Give us a speech. Give us some wisdom of what you want us to know or what you want to leave with us. Not to say she's going anywhere. Don't forget, it's a lot of young people leaving off this earth, and elderly people are living long. So it's not, we can't just say, you know, but I just wanted her to give us her, especially her great and her grandchildren and her children, you know, leave us a word of encouragement, you know. So she did pretty good too, you guys. She did, matter of fact, she did really good. And we did a lot of things. We interact, we played games. We did a whole bunch of family things. And yesterday evening, I was planning on going live. Y'all, my legs were tired, my back, everything, because I did everything, you know, for the event, everything. So I realized Sister Deborah ain't getting younger. But honey, let me tell you, I will get up there and do the best that I can. And normally when I do things like that and everything, and I mean from everything, I'm always making sure that everybody is comfortable, plenty of food, you know, everybody is involved. And I'm gonna tell y'all, yesterday it was so much fun. It just brought back, I tell you, remember where let me see, what was that? It was a movie. It wasn't a movie. It was a picture about family. When the family came together and the elderly ladies came out on the porch. That's similar to what it was like, and it was really, really nice, you guys. I really felt good about it. I even felt when I laid down yesterday evening, my plans was to get up to go live, but I couldn't get up. I just, because I hadn't slept in 2 days, so I just couldn't get up. My body said, no, you ain't going nowhere. And I woke up at 10 a.m. this morning. Guess what I had to do? They cleaned up all the outside. I had to clean up the inside. I got up this morning and I just said, Father, I said, give me the strength because my legs were still aching. And he gave me the strength I need. And as I asked him for that strength, y'all, he shared so many beautiful things with me. I just want to scream out and say, yeah, Father, yeah, I'm sorry. Woo, he gave me, let me tell you this, I have to say. He said to me about there are individuals who has faithfully supported Sister Deborah. And you know what he told me? He said, Deborah, it ain't you they supported. They're doing that for me. And I was like, I like that. But I had to think a minute. I said, oh, yeah, I'm watching this. Oh. And I couldn't, it was kind of confusing because I was wondering where was that coming from and where was it going? And he was saying that you have those that has been so faithful. It is not you that they're faithful to. It's me. They're doing it for me. And I thought that was, woo. I mean, it took me a minute, because I was, like I said, I was wondering where he was going with this. He was just telling me, I have minds. I have minds. And I thought that was so embracing. But when after he said that, he went going all over the place, giving me let me tell you, what's going on, what's hidden, what's behind the scene, what's about to happen. And I was like, hey, by the time you know it, you guys, guess what? That whole kitchen and the living room was clean. It was like, whoa, because when he's speaking to you like that, you just move because you're feeling good, child. It's adrenaline. It's just, woo, you can feel him inside of you talking. But he started off with that. Where he coming from and where he was going, I had no idea. But I said, I didn't say it out verbally, but I said when I get on live, I'm gonna mention to you all. You already know who you are. This is what the Father shared with me, and I said I'm gonna make sure I put it out there so they too, they know who they are, and y'all know who you are more than anything, and that's more important than anything. Anything that's more important because you have to think that this is what I'm gonna put an example. He told me, Deborah, when there are deceivers, there got to be those they deceive. You see what I'm saying? When there are deceivers, there got to be those that are there for them to deceive. Just as he gives unto them those that they need so that they can fulfill their mission to deceive, he makes sure they get plenty to sit amongst them to deceive. Can the deceiver be a deceiver if he don't have someone to deceive? You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of example of what he's saying to me. If I know who you are and nobody else don't know, they don't have to know. They don't have to know. Even those that faithfully give, they don't have to know. But they know that they do it, but they don't have to know to the capacity. But I want you to know. They are doing it on my behalf. The same way I make sure that the deceivers have plenty to deceive, I also take care of mine. That's the scary thing about the whole thing is how we think the Father don't take care of what is his. We think he don't got nobody out here working on his behalf, except for the deceivers and the wicked one. We think they working on Yah's behalf. That's why I had to say that tonight to those. You know who you are. You know already. I don't even have to tell you. He already want me to let you know. Faithfully, you have done things that ain't nobody asked you to do. Not to the capacity, the way you do it and how you do it. That was out of Sister Deborah's mindset. So it had to step into a spiritual mind to make sure that was done or to see that done. So I just wanted to say that, because see, what people don't understand, the one that I ain't gonna say the one that I know, the one that I know is righteous, that is true, that is the creator of all things. That's how he rumbles. That's how he does things. A lot of times, okay, I said another example. You see, we in captivity. You see? How could this curse be fulfilled if y'all hands wasn't in it? Do y'all get what I'm saying? How could these things be if y'all's hands not in it? Let me give you a number. Let's go to Revelation. How could Revelation step into this day and time if the Father's hands is not in it? If the Father's hands is not in it, how can we step into Revelation? How can we as a people be over in captivity, oppressed? You think that Satan and the heathens and the Europeans have that type of power where they can do things and y'all's hand is nowhere in it? You's a lie. From the pit of hell. He is the beginning and the end and anything in between. We just ain't caught up here to understand that. We think he has to be the tail end somewhere. We don't understand he's the beginning and he's the end. So that's what he was saying to me in the water. See, we see everything. We always say when they did this and they did and they don't see the power of his right hand orchestrating the beginning to the end. If he's the beginning and the end, he's Alpha and Omega. Who are you to say what is his and what is not? Everything is still orchestrated by his mighty right hand. Something we forsaken long time ago. When he started in Genesis chapter 1, we never knew who the power was. And the hurting thing is he was dealing with me on that too. He was in that water dealing with me on the power. And I began to get sad. Because I said, Father, it's useless, it's worthless. And it's almost to a point where he said, yes, it is. Why people wanting to live a life of thinking that it's going to go the way they say it's going. Oh, it's left, it's going to go left. Oh, it's right, it's going to go right. Oh, it's up, it's going to go up. Oh, it's down, it's going to go down. And we don't even understand. The power of his right hand has orchestrated the beginning all the way to the end and everything in between. So in the water, he started off by saying, you know, those that you have faithfully blessed you. Faithfully. That was me. See what I'm saying? Why is it we want to see him in the curse? Oh, it's him doing this here. You go up in Revelation. Oh, it's Yah. We go everywhere. It's him. But he's both. He's it all. Believe it or not. He don't need to put his hand on it. His hand been on it from the beginning. Everything was orchestrated from the beginning into the end. Let's set another example. If Sister Deborah was born at a certain date, and if I die at a certain day, who's in control over that? And when did he get control over it? Before heaven and earth was created. It was already orchestrated. You're coming in and you're going out. What he's saying to me today is we have to see him all up in everything. Everything. We have to see him all up in it. And it's the way we see him up in it. And that is that power. He rules it. No, it's going to go the way he already orchestrated it to, according to what he already knew. That's why I say it's important to if you run around here talking about I need a Maureen, a seer, a watchman, a pastor, a preacher, a minister, a teacher, an evangelist, an apostle, a prophet, a prophetess. You don't need nothing but the one who has orchestrated it from the heavens, from the beginning. And that's that power. And what he was explaining to me again was that I really didn't, how would I say, embrace the level of the power. And as time go on, it leads me to have no other choice but to throw my hands up and say, hey, That's it. Because of what he continued to reveal to me. He said, oh, did you see this? Look right here. Look right here, Deborah. Read this here. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. See, it's going all like I told you it would. These people, he said, running around here. People running around here talking about it's going to get better. Everybody looking for the great white hope. Even the blacks looking for a European. They great white hope. A European to deliver them out of something. Everybody's looking for a hope that, okay, you got to have a vision and a dream. Baby, let me tell you something. Your visions and your dreams are buried 6 foot under, in case you didn't know. Don't mean nothing. We in the end days, in case you haven't recognized. The only part that's more powerful than it all is to see everything going on and seeing the reaction of people as if it's nothing happening. There is a nation of people that calls themselves Negroes, they call themselves Black Americans, and it's just off the chain. And they can't even think or see. So this is why I apologize to the Most High and say I'm sorry. Because the more and more he showed me, he's keeping me updated with what he said about Deuteronomy 28. And when I'm seeing this stuff, I'm like, where is this stuff? He said, Deborah, gone. I told you this, Deborah, 2 years ago. Until they are destroyed, they're going to remain in the state of oppress. They're gone. And I'm like saying, okay, Father, to me, they 100% gone. But you see it? Oh, yeah, I see it. But he wants me to be reminded. Because he said, the way you seeing it, it's going to be worse than that. You see? So what do? I stick closer to him in the spirit. As always. But he still yet comfort me a great deal in the midst of what he's allowing me to see. These people are in stores, walking into places. African Americans, they call themselves Negroes, they call themselves Black. You see? But let me tell you something. No Black people are saying anything because you're gone. You're gone. This is gone. It's all the way gone. Not 99.9, but 100. They walking in stores, stealing in broad daylight, not running out the door, not running in stealing, not running out the door stealing, but taking clothes, anything that's the places they go, watches, everything, and walking straight out the door like it's nothing. And guess what? They got them on camera doing it over and over and over. To the point where all these stores, some of them are high-end stores, they're not to call the police. They're not to do anything. Let them do what they want. And that's why I can't understand how is it that polygamy and the things that these ignorant men are teaching overweigh the trouble in the land today among their own people. You see? And I know some people think, okay, I'm way out here. They can't, baby, they coming for you. They coming for you because what is happening is something that a lot of us really don't understand. They are going to be taking, they are going to be taking those that's not marked up out of here. That's why the remnant is going to be small. They're going to get them out because they setting them up from the flow up. They setting them up. They letting them do, they going into stations, gas stations. They going into high-end stores. They going, it's everywhere. People of my color. Going into places. Don't care about no camera. Don't care about getting shot. Don't care about being seen. They are not running, you guys. They're not going in and running out, or running in and running out. No, they doing it broad daylight. And the Gentiles, not and the heathens, are allowing them to do it and showing it nationwide. A lot of people think that, okay, when they showing it in this state, no, baby, it's being shown in nationwide how your people that you call is conducting themselves, so the whole world can see how we as a is cutting up, and the hate grows stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. You see, that's some sort of power that's released, y'all. Because what I'm seeing is, while we're focusing on polygamy, clowns, people who want to clown, people who want to travel, talking about baptizing people, people who want to have feast days and do all these other things that don't have no place in the bosom of the Father. He is a spirit. We have to worship him in spirit and truth. And according to worship him in spirit and truth, you have to be right in here before you right on the outside. You have to be right with him in here. Why? Because that's the only place he can come and abide in you to get anything out of you that's not right. He got to be able to enter here to get that thing right. But what they're doing is they taking everything on the outer man, calling it a part of he that is spirit, and it's a part of the way he conducts things, and he teaches things, and he wants you to believe, he wants you to know, he wants you to do this, he wants you to do this. Sit down, you clowns. These things are for the flesh. So my thing is, I'm saying to him, I'm so sorry, because somewhere along the line, I throw my hand up and say it's going to be what he says it's going to be. I know that. But he wants me to keep in mind every time you see this stuff, know that it's what I say it's going to be. In a sense, keep your foot on the pedal. Don't let up in thinking what you're seeing is going to get better, or this is okay, or let him do this, let him do. It's nothing you can do, Deborah, but keep your foot on the pedal. Keep yourself moving. Because I believe, without a doubt, that we are in a worse position and condition, without a doubt, than the eyes that you have can see. He was turning me so upside down in that kitchen, washing them dishes. It was like I blinked my eyes and opened, and it was clean. It was just that, I'm telling y'all, it was just that fast. And I began to think on all the stuff he was telling me. How did I finish that quick? It was coming not from the outer side of me. It was coming from the inside. He was saying things to me from the inner man. And it was almost like he said, you remember when I said this? You remember when I told you this? Can you remember this? Can you remember that? And I'm like, okay, yeah. It's almost like, did he think I forgot? You know? Or do I need to be reminded? It was like a refresher of something he was saying to refresh me, but yet warn me on top of it. The things that he was saying is just, I'm trying to keep saying that so he can let me tell you the things in the way he was telling me. You see? But I'm going to keep talking and hoping that he would allow what he given me to come out. See, what I should have did is write it down. But I was so indulged with, how would I say, I was so full of the Holy Spirit to writing wasn't even to be nowhere near me. Even though I could have, but I was so full of the Holy Spirit and what he was revealing to me and what he was saying. I didn't think, okay, go over and get your pen, start writing down what he said so you'll know what you can say. But it's at like a standstill. So I'm going to keep talking and hope that he would allow me to share with you the deepness of what he was revealing to me in that water. All I know, he was telling me some things. And honestly, I knew I was full of the Spirit because I was feeling good from the inside. You know, it was like I was high. It was like a high, you know, just, just really feeling good and moving real fast. You know what I'm talking about? And clean. I was just, because the things that he was saying to me. But I will say this. A lot of it had to do with things I have said in the past, in which he just like he was refreshing my spirit to remember that it's just that bad. I do know he was telling me, just like I said about Deuteronomy 28, until they destroy it, they are gone. I'm telling you, the things that's actually taking place, and what I'm trying to say is, there's no fear of this creator. There is no fear of Yah to be seen. There is no fear. Okay, I can tell you something else that was talked to me today about Abraham. Abraham was told in the vision that his seed would go into a land that he knew not of, nor the forefathers knew not of. And in a sense, they're going to have a language, a land and a language which they knew not of, or something like that in Genesis, when he was telling that to Abraham. So as time went on, as I'm in the kitchen, I'm thinking, okay, but that's in there more than one time. So we get we get over here. We're over here now. It's been years. We're over here, and we battle the fact that they call Jesus Christ. What do you think you at? One thing I tell you all about Sister Deborah, the way the Christians are, I don't step over in a Kool-Aid trying to say what they're doing and what they're not doing, but I have the right to say the Roman Catholics hides. That's the power on the four corners. They hide behind the Christians, even though they had at one time those that Paul had ministered to. Remember the Gentiles that Paul had ministered to? Well, them and their families were murdered by the Roman Catholics because they believed they were Gentiles. See, a lot of you all didn't know they were set on fire. They were beheaded, their hands, they were tormented live. You see? Because they were the ones that Paul went to minister to, the Gentiles, and they believed, and they went to minister to others. They kept the trail. But when the Roman Catholics stood up, when there wasn't no pope, they assigned a pope back then, the first pope, okay? Way back then. There was never a pope, but they said, now this is one that will rule. But the whole idea was to execute the Christians. The Christians. Okay? Now, if we say the Christian here in the United States talk about God and they say Jesus Christ, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And I'm going to show you how lost you all are. Wait a minute. I say, Father, didn't you tell that to Abraham back in Genesis? Now see how far it is? You see how far? Watch it. Did not you tell Abraham that their seed is going to be taken to a land that they knew not of, that your fathers knew not of? No, Abraham knew not of his fathers, not Abraham knew not of, and his seed know not of. Taken to that land. That could have been, no, it couldn't have been Egypt. It had to have been the four corners in which they were dispersed from the level. It wasn't called African then, and where they took on all the slaves. Now watch that. But it's fulfilling what is written. It was that a land they knew not of and a language they knew not of. So, who issue is that? Is it our issue or is it your issue? Is it our issue or is it your issue? It's still y'all's issue. Why? Because he the one ordered the curse. It was ordered, you guys, way back when he mentioned it to Abraham. Now, that was in Genesis. Now, if he mentioned it to Abraham in Genesis, then you know heavens must have knew about it before Abraham. You get what I'm saying? So, this language in this land that they knew not of, nor the language that they knew not of, well, okay, here we are. Why are we battling the language? We got more fight up against the right hand of Yah than we got anywhere else. We as a people, we fight up against the right hand of the Father. 24/24 in our thinking, our feeling, our action, how we conduct ourselves, how we dress, how we do everything. We go up against him. And when we go up against him, we go up against what? His power that has orchestrated the curse itself to be. Now, what is it that he's going to place you in a land that your forefathers knew not of, nor you, nor a language that your forefathers knew not of, or you? But then tell you, you better say this here name, you better say this name. It's the name is this, the name is that. He was dealing with me with that at the water. And I never in my life would have thought of that. That is so true. If you brought us to this land as for a curse, and you have already told it to Abraham, Abraham told it to Isaac, Isaac told it to Jacob. You see? Here we are, completed the curse, but still in the curse, thinking that we have awakened and somebody took something from us. Even our language, even our everything. But how can somebody take something from you when way back in the beginning in Genesis, he already told Abraham that you were going to end up here? So tell me, he was dealing with me on that level because he was talking to me about the language. He said, Deborah, and I'm going to tell you what word he said, God. They battle with the word God. They battle with the word Jesus. They battle with the word Christ. But did not I tell Abraham? That if I told Abraham then, here it is, they didn't live it. And they said they awakening today without seeing my mighty right hand in this at all. It has fulfilled itself and it ain't finished yet. And this is what shows darkness. Because if he told him this way back in Genesis, this was told to Abraham. Why ain't we looking at the fact that, okay, if you said that in Genesis, that we're going to go to a land we knew not of, your forefathers knew not of, and a language we knew not of as well, that's why we're stuck on the language we in. So are we going to be punished? This is what I'm trying to say. He just came to me with a whole bunch of stuff like this. Are we going to be punished? He didn't say this, what I'm saying. Oh, we're going to be punished. He said, so if you in a land with a different language, then how did you get the language? And who put you there? And where did you come from? And who was warned? Way back in Genesis, I said that. This is where you know there's no such thing as a person really waking up to spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge, nor spirit and truth. Because the whole overall is still hanging on a battle that they really think they can fight. They thinking that they can defeat the curse itself and every plan of the Father. They feel they have mastered and turned around. If it ever dawned on you all, another thing he said, he was telling me about, they haven't really looked at the numbers and see how many people believe in what they're speaking about being in the land of their oppressors. He said it is so thin. What it means is, while we're thinking, and we get on this live chat, we get on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, but we are so small in numbers, you guys. I mean, like really small. Not even your own nation listen to you nor hear you. And I'm not speaking of Sister Deborah. I'm speaking of those who are leading people through the broad gate and believing that everything that was orchestrated from heavens can be dealt with. Because we're going to change this. We're going to make it this way. And I'm saying to you all, those days of even thinking that like that is over. You're gone. You are gone. You don't walk into stores, broad daylight, stealing with cameras, walking, not running. This stuff is so, and you know what? I've seen it in every day. It's showing a different place. They're setting you up. No, they ain't setting you up. You set up as a people. And you can be a people who ain't never done nothing to nobody, but it's coming for you. It all has to do with not taking the Father at his word and thinking, oh, that's them, that's not me, that ain't happening, they can't do this, they doing this, they doing this. See, and what we did is all of that tells the Father, you a liar. And the truth is not in you. You have no power to do things like this or to allow. It's so many signals that the house of Israel, let me not say that, melanated people are doing. It's so much to point they haven't even realized that they are the dumbest human beings on the face of the earth. They are the dumbest human beings on the face of the earth. But yet, they said they built this country. Come on now. For somebody who have built so much, how could you be the dumbest? Go back to the drawing board. It's a lot to go back to, because you'll find out that a lot of things that they have taught and they're teaching and they continue to teach people have been a lie. It's all very deceiving. And you can get trapped in that. If you don't see how a people that you might come from, let's say another one. They went in and they hired a lot of foreigners, especially from Africa. That's what really gets me. But it don't get me too bad, because I think I made 2 videos about I couldn't understand why they go way over in Africa, get the darkest black, skinny black African woman at a tall height and bring it to the United States and put them in a magazine and make it us. I never could figure that out. And I couldn't understand the women always have no hair on their head, just clean bald, or either little hairs like beans all over their head. They always pitch black blue. They black blue to where, and what they do is, I'm gonna set an example. Do you all remember that they used to get black men, paint them all black to where they so black you see the white of their eyes, and they be clowning, and then they put that black lipstick on, that red lipstick, and these make their lips bigger. Well, that's what they do. They've been doing that for years. And as a teenager that really was stepping into Vogue magazine, they wanted me to drop from 113, from 135 down to 113. You see what I'm saying? And then the things that they wanted me to do, no. And I was stepping in it by myself. I was 17. I was stepping into it by myself. And I felt that, wait a minute, this is not something that I should be getting involved in or stepping into. I mean, I had, 2 or 3, what they call catwalks. They showed me how I liked that part. But it was just so much that was in it that was like, wait a minute, who gonna get down to that, to that size? But when that's another thing, they go over in Africa, snatch the women that they want us to see we look like, bring them over here and make them models. You see, and let us see them in magazines. And I'm like, this is not us. When they doing that today, not they doing it today, they've been doing it. A lot of African women and African men from other country or foreigners, that they get into positions and put them up in our senators, those that's in the White House. You see their last name, and you see them, Ethiopia. The women looks like the women of Ethiopia, but you can tell they that because they have to do it, their names. You see, how did you get in there, and how you representing blacks? Everything that they get to represent us, it's always having to dip over and get somebody from a foreign level, like the vice president. She's not over here. She's not us. And it's not because she's a president that she's not a vice president. She wasn't us from the beginning. She was shaped into that from somewhere else. She come from somewhere else, not even from this country, but want us to think she's she represents the African Americans. Look at Black Lives Matter. This is the key right here. Black Lives Matter shows that the people who say they are awakening are really dead. The people who say that they are awakening, they are really dead. They dead. They as dead as dead can be. I mean, for real. Let me tell you, Black Lives Matter. Watch this here. I'm going to show you how dead they are. Right here. Black Lives Matter in the last 3 years have collected millions of dollars. And it's been handed over to the Gentiles and the heathen. And nobody said nothing. But it's supposed to be for, I would think, if it's Black Lives Matter, at least the Black Lives will matter, you would start building up after school programs, parks and stuff for the black community. What happened to the millions and millions of dollars? No, not one Hebrew Israelite thought to, okay, y'all, let's find out what is happening to this money. But they over there telling the white man, you owe us reparation. You owe us this and you owe us that. They gone. They gone on both sides. Like he was telling me in the water. It's no more 99.9. I said, no, they gone here. That's what I said. They gone here. They gone 100. Because I can see us, not us, I can see a people who really thinking that the Most High is slow and that they can use him and represent him in these last evil days. And that's the only thing they see Yah work. And I want to say, I scream, Father Yah. I'm screaming to say, I'm sorry. Because that's all they see him good for. That's it. They using him, his name, as they think they know his name. But you really don't know his name. Because if you did, you'll realize he the one said, that's the same one said he's going to bring you to a land that your forefathers knew not of, nor the language that you knew not. So here you are over here. So is it your fault that you're not saying the name? Come on now. Is it your fault because you don't know the name? No, it's not your fault. That's the curse that has been put on you. Because he knew he was bringing you over here. And the name that you used throughout time after time after time was the name that was given unto you. But it was warned to you from your forefathers on down. See, they don't think to tell people that. They don't think to even preach, to reveal to you, to give you the fullness. They rather battle the heathens and the Gentiles or doing something to them without thinking. When who called it out to Abraham? Was that the Gentiles? Did the Gentiles call this out to Abraham? Did he say that to Abraham? Way back in Genesis. Or was that the heathens and the Gentiles saying it? You get what I'm saying? That this would happen to us. Now here we are in a land, just like he said. A language we knew not of, nor a land we knew not of. Are we not? Yes. So if he said that we will be in a place that we didn't put ourselves, we didn't cause ourselves to be here as far as coming from there to here, then what does that tell you? So when you hear people talking about God, Jesus, or Christ. Okay, say for instance, if you go to France, they're not going to be saying the name that you heard someone tell you it was in your homeland when you were there, or what they used to call. You go to Russia, or you go anywhere. Everybody's going to be saying a different name than what is the original name in Hebrew. Why? Because these are different countries and they pronounce the name different. And the mindsets here in this country ain't recognized that, wait a minute, if we're here, just because they say in Jesus Christ, don't mean Jesus is the white God. Because they detach the white God to it, still does not mean it's a white God. It is their language. The name itself is their language, Jesus Christ. Let me tell you why. When I first started on YouTube, I was trying to make some sense to why are the Hebrew Israelites getting rid of the name Jesus but holding on to the name Christ. I thought that was rather strange until I was shown in the Bible how they had the everybody had an issue with him saying he's the son of God. I mean, he's the son of God. That's what they had an issue. They didn't have a problem with him saying, I'm the son of man, son by God. They had an issue with him saying, I'm the son of God. You see what I'm saying? I'm the Messiah. They had an issue with that. They really had an issue. They didn't have an issue with him saying, I'm the son of man, son here by God. But when he said, I am the son of God, that's the issue they had with him. Same thing with the Hebrew Israelites. They don't have no problem with him saying that he's in this country here saying that his name is Christ. They have a problem with them saying it's Jesus. Because in their minds, they detach Jesus with the white God. But Christ, why can't you detach? If you're going to detach Jesus as the white God, you would have to detach Jesus Christ as the white God. Why are you separating them as one is for the white picture of a white God and this other one is what? Because the truth be told, they are separate, but they work in one mission. You go right now out of this country and you go over in Africa. You take your butt out of this country and you go right over in Africa, and I bet you they won't be saying Yahweh. I bet you they won't say Ahaya, Ahaya. I bet you they won't say Yahuwah. They're not going to be saying it. It's going to be saying it in their language. The day of Pentecost, that is what happened. Others were hearing others that wasn't from their own native country. I mean, their own native. They didn't know their native language. That's what confused them. How do you know my language? Or how everybody saying something that they were understanding in a different language? Right there in the day of Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit came and they heard different people speaking in different language. So what is wrong with this people that is cursed? They are out of their mind. And they have got 99.9 of you all out of your mind, not thinking spirit and truth. So we're battling, they are battling the wrong thing. You see them, everybody, how can you dare look at Kirk Franklin, T.D. Jakes, and you see the lifestyle of Satan they're living? Plainly seen for the whole world to see what they represent. But yet, people still putting them in the category of worshiping a God. People just don't, they refuse to see the light. The Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 5 said, the light shined, but the darkness refused to see the light. They refuse to see the light on anything. That's where we're at. And when you can't see the light, The sad part is about it, more so than anything, they don't know the power. What happened? The day before yesterday, I sat up and listened to 5 different pastors. 5. And as I was listening to them, it was sad. I realized they are nowhere lining up, nowhere near spirit and truth. They have no righteous in them, none whatsoever. You know what Sister Deborah did, what she normally don't do? I sat back and listened to every word they were saying. I listened to their whole. Got confused. I did get confused. Let me tell you where I got confused. How is it that all these people sitting here listening to y'all year after year after year after year after year and supporting y'all all these years and no righteous, no spirit and truth coming out their mouths? How could you teach this and believe this? How could you hear this being taught and believe it? 5. That's why Sister Deborah stay away from this platform, because I'm seeing more and more and more. That's why I'm still in the race, because it's a reason why I need these things in which he's revealing. I need these things. It's a time, not a time like we got time, like a time in life. There's a spiritual time period in which that's what I'm going to be used for. I listened to 5 black pastors a few days ago. And each and every last one I completed. I didn't care if it was 2 hours. One only had 2 hours, but the other ones, they didn't have that long, a little hour. One had 45 minutes and the other ones have a little over an hour. But I sat and listened to them. Sister Deborah normally don't do that. So I was driven to just listen. And I realized how far from any truth in such an hour as this that we're in. These men is not teaching truth, spirit and truth, not truth, because they are teaching their truth, but spirit and truth of the Most High Yah. They are not teaching. And the people are sitting there looking like dead zombies. And I'm like, it says in me, now I want you to look at the way this pastor is teaching. And it gets to the point where Sister Deborah's like this. I'm looking at their movements, their body language, the eyes, the way they swing in their hand. I can tell all, they don't know. Sister Deborah can discern their life just watching that. I'm sitting here watching it. Yeah, one of them had some sugar, if you know what I mean. And he might got his whole congregation not knowing it, but Sister Deborah was able to discern it. But in it, it was just so much things being said that it came halfway to the truth, but then the lie continued. And I guess that's how they've been doing all this time. People tell you somewhat of the truth, and then it steer over and end up adding lies that's taking people out of anything that you said at the beginning. Because now you're telling them, and I had no idea that these people believed the things that they were teaching. I didn't know. I had no idea that these people really believed what they were teaching. And guess what I come to understand? More than anything, out of all 5, one thing I realized that was off the chain, and that was something else he brought up to me in the water. I remember that because he brought up Genesis. He said, you remember when I told you if they missed Genesis 1 and 2, they missed the whole thing? Guess what it was, Deborah? This is what he was saying in the water today. He said, guess what it was they missed? I had hit him before he got me in my spirit. It's the power. I'm in the water now. It was the power. He said that not having the power, you don't have him. You don't have him if you don't have the power. Because he said, somewhere, Sister Deborah can't explain it, but maybe later on I can. He said somewhere his name is connected to the power. That means You don't know him if you don't know the power. You see what I'm saying? You don't know him if you don't know the power. He don't care about what people say his name is. Y'all is not caught up in who say his name. This. Where is my power at? Do you know that? They don't know it. So all 5 of these pastors that was teaching, they didn't even understand the power. They don't even know nothing about the power. They call him the power Yeshua, which is Jesus. They say that's the power. Then they say Jesus is God. His name is God. You see? It's so much. And the reason why I did say something. I said something like it's what they put in, how the Roman Catholic kind of smeared it. And he began to tell me, as you said before, when I speak, you'll hear me speak, Deborah, if you know me. He said, my sheep knoweth my voice. They hear it me. So he was correcting me on understanding, if they my sheep, they knoweth my voice. So what he's saying is, then they would know. They would know then if they are of his, of his sheep, if they are his sheep. See, a lot of people don't pay any attention to that because they figured, oh, well, that's a little petty. No, baby. His sheep knows his voice because it's spirit. It's a voice of a spirit. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? We don't want to receive him in spirit and truth. We want to receive him in truth. And anybody can have truth. Satan got some truth. But he's found it in spirit and truth. And in that spirit and truth, those who know spirit and truth know his voice. And they hear him. But what is going on is, so many voices in the land, people have traded over even desiring to hear his voice for the voices they hear in the land. And they're content. They don't have no problem. And they call them right, wrong, and right. Let me tell y'all, is it more important in such a late hour as this? And it's kind of sad to me. It's really sad. Because if you really think about it, y'all, in such a late hour as this, there is a people have to be cuckoo clock. They have to be gone mentally to be caught up in what they're caught up in this day and time. They caught up in traveling. They're caught up in preaching and teaching. One of the main swingers right now is polygamy. Who gives a rat's behind about many wives and trying to prove and debate? Last thing on this earth that you and I need to be caught up in is people debating. Why? Because that's wicked and evil. That's like Sodom and Gomorrah. He getting ready to destroy, and they still sitting in there trying to do wicked things. You see? But yet he getting ready to rain down fires of brimstones. And you still trying to do your act. Same thing with Noah. The flood started. They still out there partying. They still out there doing wicked things. All the imagination of their thoughts were wicked and evil. So they didn't have time to think of nothing good or positive or we better get out of here. Oh, this is what he talked about. They didn't have, because their mind. See that? Oh, Father, you ought to cut that out. Father, y'all, you better cut it out. Let me show you what he just showed me. I'm running my mouth, but listen to what he just said. He said, see that statement you just said? You go back to chapter 6 of Genesis. It says that day of Noah, every imagination was wicked and evil. And every thought was wicked and evil continually. Continually. Isn't that meaning they gone? That's what it means. Wicked and evil, and every thought and their imagination is wicked and evil. This is why I say to you all can play them games with them, these men, run y'all tails behind them, thinking you got somebody leading and guiding you. You can go right ahead, be led and guided. But no, when you stand before glory, there's no more mercy and you're gone. Because those that's in the Lamb Book of Life, they ain't gonna have to go through with those who's going to have to stand there, because they going straight to the lake of fire. And that's just it. Because what I'm seeing, when he sat and he said, you see what you just said, I never expound on that, but I caught it when he said it. You're sitting here telling those people right now where Judah is at, gone. And they might think you wrong for saying it. They might think, well, she shouldn't say that. That is not true. That's not true. But is that not what happened in the days of Noah? It's no need of me pulling it. Let me go on. Let me read it. Genesis chapter 6. I'm just going to read it right quick. In Genesis chapter 6 and verse, and I hate reading this part because it's hardcore. It's letting you know they gone. They are gone. Before the what? Before the what? The ark was even completed. It is said they are gone. Now watch this here. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of men. What did Sister Deborah tell you a month ago? The Father woke me up and said, it is lawlessness. It is lawlessness. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did you say that? Did you really say that? I couldn't even go back to sleep. I had to get up to look up the word, make sure I know where it stands, where this word stands. And I said, but Father, we there already? He said, you've been there. Lawlessness. Okay, now listen to this. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of men were great. Now, what will be wrong with what Sister Deborah is saying today? What's the difference in what he's warned us? It's going to be like the days of Noah. What would be different today? What would be different today? Listen to what he says. Verse 5, Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God said that the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of their heart was evil continually. The difference between Noah back then and today, here it is. He got me, he sent you Deborah to tell you, because we're in the end days. What did Sister Deborah tell you? We are in the midnight hour, running up on the last minutes. Noah was telling them, it's finna end, y'all. Y'all better get up in here. Did you think, do you all know that every time Noah went to tell the people and warn them, even when he got done with it, you know he warned them again, he finished, y'all better get, y'all knew they wasn't coming. They wasn't coming nowhere. That goes back to Deborah. I already know that. Why? Because he already shown me the things that's going to take place. It's going to get worse. So it's not coming out here and play with y'all. I don't know where everybody think it's time to play patty cake, or it's time to how would I say it, jump rope or something. No, it's no different than when he ended the day of Noah, and that was a part of the warning. It would be like the days of Noah, meaning Deborah. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. But I will say to those that y'all say he has marked, you got it made, baby. You got it made. Because the ones that are going to escape, it is not you're not going to have to go through what they're going to do, what they're going to be doing, but y'all going to get you out of here. Even when your mind is gone, your spirit going to be intact enough to where he can get you up out of here. That's why he says you're going to come in curse. So before you got over here, this is another thing where you know, how would I say it? Negro people are gone, especially those who say they are awakened, because he said you was going to be cursed before you even get over here. If he said you're going to be cursed before you coming in, you're going to be cursed going out. So that means that, guess what, you guys? All the way in the wilderness, before he gets you to the promised land, there's going to be a time. There's going to be things happening. Because you see a curse. Curse coming in. That means before you even get here, and curse going out. It's when you get to that promised land. Because this is what I said. I said, well, okay, Father, have they realized that the cleanse, the filth that you're going to clean up, the new heart, the new name you're going to put in them, and all this good stuff you're going to put in them and you're going to forgive them for, do they understand? It's not until they are in the promised land. See, because they're not teaching y'all that. And then you got 4 other pastors that don't even believe, that don't even teach the people who they are. Because they've been bought by the heathens. And they're not, even T.D. Jakes, he ain't finna come down all for nothing. He can't come down. That's why he put his daughter up. And she's not gonna come down. She's gonna roll down. Because she's gonna fall down, y'all, hard. Hard. And the world gonna see her fall down hard. Because it's too much heavy wickedness that's going on to make people think that people are. Don't y'all see a lot of these pastors or all the darkness that's coming out about all these pastors? This is because they're not going to come out on any right side, you guys. That which was in the dark shall come to the light in the last days. Coming to the light don't mean they're going to get right. It's just that your darkness is going to be revealed. And that's what you see. Everybody darkness. Darkness in the family. Darkness on the workplace. Darkness in your community. Darkness in every area in the world has already sprung up. And people acting like it's a sunny day. So what has to happen? You know what has to happen? It has to get worse. See, y'all didn't know. Y'all is going to turn up the heat. He has turned. Let me stop saying he's going to, because he already let me see this. The heat going to get turned up. And until your tail get burnt up in what is going on. That's what people waiting for, the heat. Look at Noah. And then what's strange, a lot of people never paid this any attention. In Genesis chapter 6, he's talking about Noah and ending the world. And he said how the wickedness of man was so great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of their hearts are evil and wicked. If that's not what's in this world today, people call Pastor Dow good and ain't nothing wrong with what he doing, ain't nothing what he said. Evil on top of evil, and they cannot see it. The thoughts of their imagination is off the chain. No one can see all this homosexual in the church, all this darkness in the church. It's so bad to the point where they're killing. They are killing one another in the church. And ain't nobody, and when I say in the church, this ain't like the church is nothing. It's a fake thing. But ain't nobody expounding on, no one saying anything. No one saying anything about anything. Because they're saying to the power that's over all things, oh, it ain't as bad as he trying to make it. Oh, it ain't that bad. Because I even said to the Father, wait a minute, hold up, Father, y'all. Wait a minute, where you going with that? Let me show you how bad it is. Y'all want me to tell you how bad it is? Let me show you how bad it is. It's so bad. Being a prophetess in the wilderness, I have told y'all in the last 2 years, it's over. It's bad. Don't y'all see it? You can't see this. You can't see that. When you go to Revelation, you know why people stay away from Revelation? They can't believe the things coming. The things that's coming up, oh, no, they ain't coming up. I heard the Father send an angel with the keys to the bottomless pit. Wait a minute, hold up. What you women, Father, y'all? What you going down yonder for? Oh, they ain't seen nothing yet. While we up here thinking This is heavens on earth. Y'all is already got intact. Oh, I tell them what. I got them down in the uttermost darkness. I pull them up. And that's what he's doing. He's going to pull them up. Y'all running around here acting like ain't nothing going on. Stay there for a minute. Stay there just a minute. You're going to start to see it. No, I ain't going to say you're going to start to see it. It's already present before you. Only thing you're going to realize is going to get turned up. Every knob going to get turned up. Baby, you ain't got no hope for tomorrow. You ain't got no promise for tomorrow. You ain't got no hope for tomorrow. You can sit here and you can plan whatever you want. There's no hope in tomorrow. There's no hope in it. I sat on this couch, my son from Texas. He came over because he knew he had to get back on the road to go back. And he was sitting here talking, and I felt so sad because he was talking about people don't have no visions and no dreams. And as I told him, wait a minute, I didn't tell this to him because I said it so many times. You would think he would know it by heart. I'm sitting here saying, you mean all these years I've told you, not years, but in the last couple of years, y'all, the Most High is showing up and showing out. No one really focused on what is actually before them. They thinking their vision, their dreams is going to be fulfilled. And I remember telling him over and over, you're going to go in a circle. You're going to go in a circle. And every time you think you got something going, it's going to drop. And you were my son. If I put him on here one day, he'll tell you everything I have done, go in a circle, and it dropped. He'll tell you. She said that. But it don't stop people from understanding all this vision and dream for this. It's best to sit your tails down and get in the presence of the Most High Yah and let him take you from here. Because if you think for 1 minute that when he said, this is what people didn't understand. Here it comes. What happened in Genesis? Do you all know that most religions believe in the end of the world, the day of Noah, the flood? Most of them believe in that. They believe in that. But listen to what happened. Here go Yeshua, as the world called Jesus. He pulling up, giving you the same warning. Same warning! And everybody sit back just like they did in the days of Noah. Then the father said, okay, I'm going to have my servant that's there already. I'm going to have them to tell everybody sit back. Everybody's perplexed. And guess what everybody preparing for? Heaven on the earth. See, that's what's the problem. That's the problem, y'all. If you're just preparing for your daily bread or preparing for just what y'all said is going to happen, that's one thing. But the people here on this earth, they are preparing for heaven here right on the earth. They are preparing for heavens right here on the earth. And guess what? The whole Jehovah's Witness believe, and they somewhat I give them 20% right, but they wrong. I give them 20% right, but they wrong. They're really believing, and I'm going to tell y'all something. They lying and been lying. They're really believing that he's going to build a heaven on the earth. They really believe that. They really believe heaven is going to be brought on the earth. Can't be. Won't be. No. Okay? All that stuff is a lie. The ideal of them thinking that heavens is coming down, is going to be built on the earth. He's going to bring it down. They say he's going to build it on the earth. It's because it's the way it is worded. But if you led by the Ruach HaKodesh and he teach you spirit and truth, you can't get lost. You cannot be lost. Now listen to this. 2 weeks ago, or maybe a little over 2 weeks, I was reading Revelation chapter 20. And I thought about the power that I know about. I don't know about y'all. I know about that mighty power. That power has been denied since the book of Genesis. That's why he said they won't get it. If they don't understand Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, they'll never understand the words that proceed out of his mouth. the words that proceed out of his mouth, because they never understood Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. You see? Because they lost the power. You all, God as God can't do nothing without his power. So if you lost his power, you're nothing out there. And this is what they think. They think you can master this book and gain his power. They think if you can tie your head, you're going to have the power. If you can join the feast days, you're going to have the power. If you dressed in fringes, you're going to have the power. If you wear a beard, you're going to have the power. Everything is the power except for the power. And that's why they're following everybody without the power. Because they missed it in Genesis 1 and 2. And they're still doing it today. And they're not doing it today. It's overloaded. Now watch this here. Here go Yeshua pulling up. And I'm saying, wait a minute, where you going? Where you going? How do you come and pull up talking about the days of Noah? What's going to be like the days of Noah? He's warning you. You better go back to Noah and Lot and see how the power of Yah show up and show out. That's all Yeshua was doing. That's all Jesus, as the word calls him, not as the word calls him, as the United States call him, Jesus warning you about the days of Noah and the days of Lot. Wait a minute, where he coming from with that? He's warning them. This is way back in Genesis. What was he warning? How the power of Yah gonna show up and show out. They missed that part too. They missed it. They missed the power. They missed the power. That power made it rain from the heavens and brought that water from underneath and let it meet each other and drowned everything underneath. Brought the rain down below, let them meet each other to flood the whole world. See, underneath came up. Rain came down. Bam. There it is. In the whole world. How you like them now? Okay, hold up. What are you talking about? You sure you over in Matthew, Luke, and John? You sure telling them about the days of Lot? What happened during the days of Lot? Deborah, that power? But no, wait a minute. Hold on, Father. Y'all, they don't know nothing about the power. They don't know nothing about it when that's the issue. You telling them the world, not the world, but it's been printed. It's been present. Yeshua came, which is the world, the United Snakes called Jesus. He's told them, who else needs to come and tell them? It is written in the instructions and direction that how it's going to end. And he's sitting back giving you all a warning like the days of Lot. Wait a minute. What do planning mean? What is Yeshua is saying some things to make everybody out there that call themselves thinking they're cunning and swift enough to try to make others feel a certain way because they feel that they're building their heaven on the earth. Why is it Yeshua talking about in the last days they're going to be planting? Does that make any sense, y'all? Why are you telling us they're going to be planting? Shouldn't they be planting? Think, y'all. Think. Could he be talking about Bill Gates and all his seeds that he's going to be planting? Or could he be talking about people going to be planting to make sure they satisfy their need? Y'all know what he's talking about, and he know who he sent to talk spirit and truth. What is this about marrying? Who ain't going to be marrying back in the days? Why are you saying it's going to be like the days of Noah, they're going to be marrying? Because back in the days of Noah, those men were selling their daughters off to men as many as they pleased. Selling. So they're going to be, back then they call it marriage. As long as the other men, the men that want them, gave them money. That was their marriage. There, y'all. That was them turning their marriage and giving in marriage. So here come the Son of Man saying the same thing for our day. In the days, the end days, they're going to be doing it. Why? Why must you say marrying and giving in marriage? What do that have to do with the days of Noah? Huh, Father, y'all? What do they have? Deborah. It's because that's that same heavy sin that caused me to end it then. I'm going to end it this time too, because they're going to be bringing that mess right into the days, the end days, doing the same thing. Marrying and giving in marriage. Because if you think, how could marrying and giving in marriage be detached to the end days? Seems like that should be automatic. Everybody, you're going to be finding people marrying, planting food. You're going to know that. Drinking and feasting. You're going to know that. He's just saying it. They're going to be indulging in it, y'all. They're going to be running around here getting all these wives. See, y'all didn't know that's what he's talking about. That's why I say you have to be under spirit and truth to understand him teaching you in the spirit realm. You can't know spirit and truth by listening to all of these muzzle-mouthed men and women. You see, you have to know it from spirit and truth level, not from the fleshy level who want to give it to you to make it sound good and make you sound right. Now, here goes Yeshua pulling up, telling his disciples what the end going to be like in the end days. Here we are sitting here looking like we're a dumb owl on a log. We don't know what's going on. And elder warnings has been telling us it's going to be just like it was in the days of Lot. Don't you see all these homosexuals? It's going to be like the days of Noah. Don't you see every imagination? It's wicked and evil continually. No, they don't see it, Father, y'all. They don't see it. And they ain't going to see it, he said. For it is only given to those that are his servant. And the other one's going to go in it blind, but they're going to wake up when it's too late. Just like those people back in Noah. When it started raining, what happened? Don't y'all know by the time it hit their waist, they realized they were in trouble? But it's too late. And that's what he said. The days of Noah, once he got Lot out of there, guess what? You think they stopped being homosexuals? Men messing with boys and boys messing with men? No, they kept their thing going until the rain of the fire started falling down on their land. And it didn't just hit Sodom and Gomorrah. I think it hit other surrounding cities, they said. But I'm just still saying, did they stop what they doing? No. So do you think today people are going to stop what they doing? No. But I will tell you one thing. During that time, it's not so much as the time where he has to get his out. He is going to be out of here. He is going to be out. He's going to be taken. He's going to have taken his out. Okay? That's why he told the angel to mark his. See, he's talking about mark them in the flesh. It's not going to be a big old sign up here, because if he had to put a sign up here, you really probably be cuckoo out there acting a fool. But it's a mark, a spiritual mark that the angels had to mark his, so that anything come up on that Yah is allowing to come up on the earth won't come up on you. But everybody else, they're going to have their time, and it's not going anywhere. It ain't going to bag up for you, and it's not going to bag down. But I tell you, the only part that is heavy with me, how much are you willing to endure? How much? And the only way out is spirit and truth. For the light will lead you the way. And if you think the flesh of a man, a flesh of a woman going to lead you through to the light, in spirit and truth, up out of here, you got another thing coming. Because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be more people left here with Babylon. Especially those who keep saying that he's coming to get us. They're going to be left right here. Because they taught you all a lot of lies against my Father. Denying the power will be deny him. You know how people say you're supposed to say his name right? Oh, his name is this, his name is that. His name is this, his name is that. Guess what? Sit your tail down. He don't have no name without the power. So how you like him now? It's just like the word. The word was. The word is. The word was with him. That's the same as the power. Because the word spoke and the power brought forth. So if you don't know the power, sit your tails down somewhere and stop clowning. You can't function without the power. You cannot function without the power. The power signs you in, and it's going to sign your tail out. How you like him now? His power signs you in, and his power will sign your butt out. That's the power. It's no need in going into this book without believing the power and knowing the extent of the power and who the power is and what it is. The power. Do y'all remember reading when Yeshua came? He kept telling you, this is my Father. All that I do, the signs and wonders, is of my Father. He kept warning us that it's not him. He wanted us to see that I am the Son of Man. I got a helping hand, which is the Son of Yah. He's the power. He's the word. And he's the spirit that's holding me up. This is what Yeshua was saying. But throughout his mission, from the beginning, from the time he came to the time he left out of here, all he was trying to get y'all to do is recognize his power. And no one caught it. He wanted you all to understand his power. Let me tell you how deep the power was. The power was, remember, before the foundation of the world? So that means before heaven and earth was created, that lamb was slaughtered. Who you think slaughtered that lamb? The power. The power orchestrated the plan of the lamb. So do you think when he came up here, and he got on that cross, that cross was there, what did he tell them? They didn't take my life. I laid my life down. So you remember how, I would set an example. You know how Abraham took his son, Isaac, and he took him up to be sacrificed, and Isaac asked him, where is the lamb? And he took him and laid him there and got ready to slaughter his son. And then Father told him, Abraham, look over there to the ram. And he was telling him how he appreciated him being faithful, to be obedient, really, really what it was, totally obedient, to the point of taking his son's life. You see what I'm saying? Well, just like Abraham did that with Isaac, okay? Well, that's the same, similar to where Yeshua, he was being sacrificed before the foundation of the world on behalf of the sacrifice for Yah, for your sin. Yah was using him to sacrifice for your sin. And we sitting our dumb tails around like we better than he was. Or he didn't really do nothing. Or it really wasn't about that. But before the foundation of the world, the lamb was already slaughtered. That was through the power. The power had orchestrated everything from the heaven. While we sitting down here thinking everything we doing, everything we done, everything we going to do is all in our mighty power. And don't realize you ain't got no power. Because if you had any power, how you gonna go up out of here? That breath of life only come out of you when the Most High sniff it out. Just like he put it in. So how you gonna get it out? See, people don't look at the power like that. And that's what he's saying. Denying the power therein. Because we don't want the power to be recognized. And how I learned about the power and where I realized it was time to really highly fear the power, because the fear was already branded in me to really fear it with full understanding. It's when I got from Genesis all the way to Revelation, you pull up the right hand. You pull up the stretched out arm. It's in there more than 1,000 times. And you wonder, well, wait a minute. Why is this in here this many times? Because y'all put a sign for those that serve him. You're going to see and you're going to hear and you're going to learn of my right hand, and which is my power. So when Yeshua came down, which United Snakes called Jesus, when he came down as a son of man, born of a woman. Okay, that why a lot of people wouldn't even focus on born of a woman. What is that saying? That no, I didn't need a sperm of a man. Ha ha ha. So that should also tell man that, look, you should be more dedicated to your children and your nation, because I gave you the sperms to bring forth life. But when it came down to the Messiah, I don't need you now. You did a little bit too much. I'm going to bring him in a woman, and I'm going to give her the seed. And she's going to bring forth a man, and it's going to be called born of a woman. Just letting you know I'm coming different. And don't you mess with me. That's another word of power, is that for him to flip the script and make woman the seed carrier of the Messiah, born of a woman, the Son of Man. And then he went over there to Joseph and said, and furthermore, get with her, marry her, A, B, C, D, because she is also with child, because born of the Spirit. He's letting him know that this child in her is going to have the Holy Spirit. And that's when he was born. He came with the Son of Yah, which is the Word, the power, and the Holy Spirit. You missed his name. You missed his name. And this is why today, in the world today, people battle and fight against and go up against each other for his name. But they missed his name a long time ago. His name is connected to his power. His name is connected to his word. His name is connected to his spirit. And they missed it. They missed it. And they came down, the three, not Trinity, his word, his spirit, and his power came down to help the Son of Man, born of a woman, to complete the mission of the Father. You get it? So now you have the Son of Man and you have the Son of Yah working to do the will of who? The Father. So that's why Yeshua did not say that I am the Father. He said the works that I do is of my Father. My Father and I are one. Why? Because Yeshua knew. Deborah, tell him. I try to tell him, Deborah. Tell him. Yeshua knew that the Father bears record. The Father, the Word, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Spirit. Now, what did Yeshua come down with? He came down as the Son of Man, a lamb that was sacrificed as the Son of Man, born of a woman. And he came down with two characteristics. One characteristic is not identified, because Yah said to me to tell you all that one you don't identify allow you not to know who he is in his fullness. And you missed him in Genesis chapter 1 and 2. And what was that? Here we go now. The Son of Man, born of a woman. He's the Son of Man, flesh, born of a woman. He kept telling you all that me and my Father is one. Okay? The works you see me do is of my Father. He never told you it was of him. He never told you that. Watch this here. So what is Yeshua saying? My Father He's in heaven. This is his will. He gave me the word, his Holy Spirit, and his power. So here go the three. Two are the witness from heaven. Who were the two witnesses? The word and the Holy Spirit. But what did it come down with? Power. All power. They came to work with Yeshua to complete the mission for the what? The Father. And where was the Father? Still in heaven. But what did he send down? The three witnesses. What are the three witnesses in heaven? The Father, the Word, and the Spirit. What did the Father send down to help the Son of Man? His Word and his Spirit and his power. What is missing? What is missing? I bet you now one of you know. That's how far you can be from spirit and truth. Just something as little as that. I'm going to break that down one more time. I'm going to break that thing down one more time. Watch this here. The Son of Man came down. Okay? Born of a woman. Not needing a man's sperm. Y'all showed you and showed all men in the whole world I'm doing something different, and I did it in the beginning. Just to show you that I fulfilled my word. A woman's seed. Meaning not all the seeds that all the ones that came down as to represent the seed of Yah's righteousness, but this seed here didn't need a sperm of a man. So he was different. And that was the world called Jesus. Okay? Yeshua. There he go, right here. He came down, Son of Man, born of a woman, not needing a man's sperm. That right there is a message in itself that no one wants to bust wide open, because it would cancel out all this trash these men are teaching. All this trash that they teaching, that will cancel it out. Now, we got one that bears witness in the heaven. What are the ones that bears witness as one? The Father, the Word, and his Holy Spirit. That's the three. But only two came down. Two came down. Who was that? Who's the two that came down? The Word and the Holy Spirit. What happened to the Father? He was still in heaven. He gave Yeshua his word, his spirit, bam, and his power. The power, it can't be a witness in heaven. It is the Father. So he gave him his power. That's why it tells you Yeshua didn't come down with just word. He came with power. You missed the power, y'all. So you don't have the truth like you think you have. He said you denied the power therein. But he said you did it because you didn't know what Genesis 1 and 2 was about. It had to do with the power, making everything be what you see. And because you didn't know who the power was that created all things, you lost. Because all the time he was saying let, he was dealing with his own power to let it come forth. So here these three come down with Yeshua, right? We got three that comes down with Yeshua. Let me get this right. Three that comes down with Yeshua, right? The Word, the Spirit, and the power. Where's the Father? Where's the Father? Hey, where's the Father? You don't know, do you? He's still sitting on the mighty throne. He's sitting on a mighty throne, and he gave Yeshua a son of man, born of the flesh. He gave him what he needed, which was his word, his spirit, and his power. And he sat on the throne and said, now go for what you know. And what did Yeshua do? He kept reminding you over and over and over that my Father and I are one. Why? One in the mission, because they work it in the mission. They are one. And he said, everything that you see me do, this is of my Father. My Father. This is not of me. Woman said, can your son sit on the left? And can my son sit on the left? One sit on the right? He said, it's not for me to give you, for it is given to whom my Father. Yeshua did an excellent job trying to get us to recognize the Father, his Spirit, and his power. And you missed it again, just like you did in Genesis. You missed it. That's why it's called born of a woman, because he wanted them to recognize that I didn't need a man. Born of a woman, brought forth the Son of Man from a womb of a woman, a seed of a woman. That's deep. You don't hear not one of them covering it. Do y'all know that's a miracle in signs and wonders? How can that be, Deborah? How can it be? Tell them, how can it be? The power that you missed in Genesis 1 and 2. That's why. That's why. Satan knew what he was talking about. Satan knew it, but what happened to you all? You're 2023 and you still don't know about his power. So what happens? Did you hear Peter? Peter, who do they say that I am? They shot him down. Who do they say he is? But then he said, who do they say I am? Peter said, the Son of the living Yah. Yah is the Father. The Son of the living Yah. What part of the Son is that? The Word, the Spirit, and the power. That was the Son of Yah that came with the Son of Man to complete the mission of the Father. That's why Yeshua stepped back when he heard Peter say who it was. And what did Yeshua do? He did what he always did. Gave the glory to the Father. He said, flesh and blood did not reveal that unto you. I'm a man born of a woman, flesh and blood. I didn't reveal that to you. But my Father, where was the Father? He's in heaven. See, Yeshua can't be Yah. He has Yah's right hand, Yah's word, Yah's spirit. And he was given to be the Son of Man with the Son of Yah with him. To work what? One mission. Both of them come together. He got the Son of Man, needed all the power, the word, and the Spirit of Yah so that he can come together and work the mission for the Father that still yet sat on the throne throughout the whole thing. And Yeshua warned you throughout everything he did. This is my Father. This is my Father. He does this. This is not of me. This is of my Father. And the reason why he said my Father and I are one in the mission in which he has called me with his power, with his word, and with his spirit, which is called the Son of Yah. So what happened? When he went into the mountain, before he went to the mountain of struggle, what he was, the Satan was putting him through, he had to fast. That was the flesh. That was the flesh. That was the flesh. That was the Son of Man born of a woman. That's why he wanted them. When we're learning about this, we have to separate the two and then still yet bring them back together. We have to separate them, then bring them back. We have to separate them, then bring them back. We have to separate them, then bring them back. When Yeshua went to Gethsemane, who was he saying? Take away this bitter cup. Not my will, but thy will. He was being separated. When he went on the cross and said, Abba, Abba, why have thou forsaken me? He was being separated. To complete the mission to die for you and I, he had to go down like a flesh. He can't have the word, the spirit, and the power. You try to put him on the cross with the power, everybody in the place will be dead. The world will end. See how stupid it sounds? How you gonna nail somebody to any cross? They got all power. Think, y'all. Think. How you gonna nail all power to the cross? Think. But he had to die. He had to be born of a woman, born of a seed of a woman. So you will know. Born of a seed of a woman. I don't need man with this. I don't need him. I want him born of a seed of a woman. And he gonna come into the earth as flesh. And he gonna have to die. To die for flesh. For every flesh. He gonna have to die. Now, what does it look like him getting on the cross with all power? Don't make sense, do it? What does it look like you're being crucified on the cross and die? If he is God, hold up. How did he die? No one ever asked those questions because what? That's how weak people's minds are. They too far out in the deep. They don't know they left from their right. But they out here teaching the multitude and the mass. That's the will of the Father. That's why he's on the cross and saying, Abba, why have you forsaken me? Wait a minute, bro. You know, your sacrifice is to lay there until the ghosts give up as the Son of Man. Not the Son of Yah, but the Son of Man. Once you go down and give up the ghost, okay, I come back in. When you in that grave, raise you back up, and we back in this again. Until I take you up. But things Yeshua did, he had to do like you and I, as the flesh. He had to die. He had to come in as flesh, and he had to go out as flesh. That's why he kept trying to remind us. Yeshua did a wonderful job, y'all, because he kept reminding us that all these things that he was doing was not him. It was the Father. We insist on making him God. He said, me and my Father are one. And he's saying that because he knew that he was born of the flesh, but God gave him the Son of Yah, so that he could have the power, the word, and the Spirit of Yah. Those belong to the Father. Those belong to the Father. Those belong to the Father. When he gave that to the Son, and this is why the Son was able to do the miracles and signs and wonders. This is why the Son was able to live as long as he did and make it as long as he did. It's because the Father's Son, his only begotten. What has happened is the Roman Catholic has went in there and did a whole bunch of smearing. But that's why it's important that people understand you need the Holy Spirit. You can't get this thing without the Holy Spirit. It's impossible. You can't do nothing with this, the spirit and truth without the Holy Spirit. Because honestly, let me say an example. This book, you'll believe everything in it. If there wasn't a Holy Spirit, you will believe everything in this book and take it as face value, like a lot of the musclehead men are doing. They believe every word that proceeds out of this book without even understanding all the times the book been taken away, broken up, tore down, reprinted. Only way that and smeared. Only way you can get it in order is through the Holy Spirit. It knows the book because it is the word. You see what I'm saying? So it knows when Yah is speaking in here and when he is not. And so what man do? They take the book and use it today to debate. They use it as an iron claw. They use it as a weapon. And Yah is allowing them to. He said because they have been turned over to a reprobated mind and a strong delusion. So let them use the book the way they pleases. Because it just amazes me. This one guy that I was listening to last week, he explained a cult, CULT. And when he did that, I was listening to 50 ways to know if a person is a cult leader. And I said, hey, whoever took out time to do that, they did an excellent job because they nailed it. They nailed it. And most of it is It'll fit 99.9 of these so-called leaders in the Hebrew Israelites. It'll fit them to the T. And all these other, see these pastors that's out here, these are fools. You see what I'm saying? These are people that's lost with the cause and without the cause. They don't care. They don't care who. Look at T.D. Jakes. You think he ain't dipping into the sugar now? Yes, he is. Matter of fact, he been in it. I knew the change up on him when he started wearing these loud pink and yellow and orange and tight suits. I said, wait, what didn't happen to this man? Weight getting big and big and stuff. First, where you really knew it, where he had slimmed down. That was a part of it. Y'all didn't know that, but let me shut up. I better not tell the man, but that's the part where he was dipping in that stuff, y'all. So when you all see him now, it's like flamboyant. Who cares? That's the thing now. And if you all, we would say as people, everything is being revealed regarding us as what you got to also understand. Why is y'all allowing that? See, that's what I do. I don't go to the heathens and Gentiles. I go straight to the horse's mouth. I go to the one that created them and us. Say, well, what's the deal with that? Well, do you see what they showing on the whole around the world regarding us? First thing Father put on me, you need to stop saying it. And if they doing it, but if they ain't, 99 trillion, they doing it. Well, what does it need to be hidden? Why should it be hidden? I'm not letting nothing they do be hidden no more, because that's why they right now today gone and don't know it. Because everything is showing them who they are, and they still denying it all. They still acting like it ain't nothing going on. And you sitting here wanting me to bring a deliverance and help it. I'm not doing it. And I'm sorry, Father, y'all, because it's going according to the way you have orchestrated. And I'm sorry. Because more and more I live, I can see that there's no chance in hell that it's going to change and get better. Not from what I can see, and he's showing me. So stop wanting it to be different than what I'm showing you. Take what I say, see it, and keep running in your lane. Because it is what I'm seeing, not what you all are teaching and preaching and want to believe. And did you all know, some people will say, always talking bad news or negative or bad thing. You know what? It don't affect the elects, because they have chosen Yah. In them is Yah. And that's the light to show them through the darkness. They're not caught up in what a lot of the witchcraft is now calling bad vibes or bad energy and all this. But they taking on all this demonic energy on every YouTube, on all the media and all these Netflix, and everything is wicked and evil. And they can take on that. But someone telling them, you know what? Y'all better get ready, because it's coming, y'all. Y'all ain't playing with y'all. Oh, no, you speaking bad vibes. What you think you got in this world today? Good vibes? How you gonna park in good vibes and good energy in the world the way that it is today? Don't you know they finna right now? And I ain't gonna say they finna right now. They already doing it. But you can't see it. It's almost like when it happened, people gonna be like, they say it's happening now about people stroking and having a heart attack. You ain't seen nothing yet. These people didn't. The food that you have is not even food anymore. The air that you breathe in is not the air you was breathing 20 years ago. All this stuff that they're doing, everybody thinking they living on good times. Oh, I'm going to build me a tower here on the earth until he comes. What makes you think to have that mindset instead of working on your inner man so it can tame your ugly outer man to where you can be right with him from the inner, and stop running around here thinking it's about, oh, if you can just do this and make this and have this. Yah is not an unjust in any way, shape, or form. He's not coming for the people who's thinking they have the ability to rob, steal from others to build their little tower of their little heaven on earth until Yah come. Yah ain't going for that, because he saw what it takes and what it took for you to have what you have. He knows that you didn't pay for it. He knows you manipulating people to believe that it's yours and you know it's not. And those that are out there still paying and still leasing and still robbing others to get what they have, so that they can make people look like they got and you don't. People are collecting weapons and just doing all kind of things because they say they're gonna fight their own battle. They don't need you, y'all. And nobody can see that. Why is it you people can't see that? Yes, you can protect yourself, no doubt about it. But you don't go showing everybody in the world because you scared. You want them to, you think you scared somebody because you got it. You done showed the whole world where to come first. That's how gone a person is. In this midnight hour, it's no reason why I will be caught up trying to teach men how to hate and how to belittle and put women under their feet because they still have not read. Every thought of their imagination is gone and wicked and evil continually because they can't see any light. They only can see man right. They can't see any light of Yah because all they can see is man is right. He don't have no problem with that. He ain't never had a problem with that. Y'all ain't never had a problem with that. And he don't have one now. But I tell y'all what, the heat has been turned up. And only thing, this is my issue of saying that I'm yelling to him, I'm sorry, is because I'm more so in a mindset of when is it going to, I need to see it turned up. It's going to turn up. I know it's going to turn up. And he tells me, Deborah, you don't see it. I said, I see it, but they don't. I see it, but they don't. What? Look. It's just that when it's too late, then they'll see it. It's there. It's in their face just like it is in yours. But they want to make right, wrong, wrong, right. They want to say this here is red even though it's blue. They want to say this here is down even though it's up. And I believe that. I believe it would not, because that's how people are gripping everything in the wrong way. And it's causing them to embrace the wrong way instead of preparing their inner man, which is their spirit, for the right way. Because if you prepare if y'all give you the opportunity to prepare your inside, it's going to have your outside together. And that means whatever happens, you're going to be able to endure the long suffering that everyone would go through. You will be able to endure it. So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you all got something out of it. And I'm saying to you all to really seek him, like he said then, while he can be found. Because even me looking at my children, my own children, Sister Deborah is at the state of mind that if y'all had to just get me, I'm still good. I'm still good. You have to have that frame mind because you got to know that you got a relationship with him. Ain't nothing else promised. But you know if you got a relationship with him, that's promised. Especially if he telling you time after time he built you, he got you a lane that he built for you. That's your promise. And you can't instill in others that they can ride in that same lane that he promised you. But you can tell them the way where the light is and the way of the narrow gate. And in hope that Father Yah will show them the way. It's a lot of things we are dealing with. You dealing with Catholics, not Catholic Christians, being prosecuted all over the world. Those same Christians that's being prosecuted, they were prosecuted during the time Paul, those that had accepted Paul's teaching and came into the fold. When you got some Christians that's losing their life today, and you know what's sad? Why is it no one sees that? Because they believe. They're losing their life because they believe. Now, the sad part is 80% hidden Catholics hidden behind them. That's the wicked of the wicked. They're using the Christians to hide behind because they too are Christians and they hiding behind them. But you got some Christians. I'm just going to throw out a number. I can't say I will not say that this is the final number. I give 10 or 20% sincere Christians that believe in the Most High God. So what? They don't have to believe in your name that you believe in. They don't have to believe in your way, your idea, your head wrap. They don't even have to know who you are as what you call it, the true Jews. Y'all didn't call them to true for them to know you the true Jews or you the people. They don't even have to know nothing about you. They don't have to call it what you call it. See, that's what y'all don't understand. I'm talking about a just creator. He don't rumble based on what we say. If y'all ever decide to even think to do something a little different outside of what these Hebrew Israelite men then taught y'all, because I believe most of you all are a cult. You are in the mindset of a cult leader. You can't even shake all that unjust that they talking, and they walking in darkness in front of your face, and you call them the people. There are those that are losing their life, and they call him Jesus Christ. That's just the stupidity of a people that I said at the beginning. Are the dumbest people on the face of the earth. What makes them the dumbest is because he chose you. Thousands of years, and you ain't never accepted him. You dumb. Even to today. You never accepted him, nor recognized that his name fall under his power. You accepted the ways of an idol god. And today your idol god is these musclehead men. They call themselves somebody. Call themselves awakened. Call themselves pastors, apostles, preachers, and teachers. And they are fools. They are fools and they are fools. Deceiving the mass. Because they have no spirit and truth. They have no light to walk therein. And they teach you, therefore, hate, darkness, polygamy. Traveling around the world and thinking y'all keeping up with you traveling around the world. Don't you know y'all know what time it is? He know this ain't got nothing to do with you traveling around the world talking about you baptizing. Somebody need to rebaptize you. Matter of fact, you don't even need to be baptized. You need to be baptized in fire, the real fire that y'all got kindled. That's what you need to be. It's just a sad thing. And it's I guess because it's at the level to where it just seems like it's just too high. It's just too high. Meaning, I know it's not gonna change. So I can actually say it really is that high. It's really that high. And that's y'all, you know what? Where you know people have fallen under occult belief and under this Hebrew Israelite movement mess is where you cannot see that who are those people being prosecuted right now. If you think it's the Hebrew Israelites, you's a fool, and you's a fool. You know why? I'm going to say to you what the Father said to me. Are they doing it? Yep, they're doing it. Well, don't. If you know that you seeing them do it, and you, my prophet, you seeing them do it, how is somebody doing something to them? This is what he's been crying out about. The Father, about a people, stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient to a creator. But you smart. You so smart. You so creative. Your men are running around here right now, killing like crazy. Your women, all doing all things, destroying the children, and the children out here just as crazy. But yet you want to say, but they doing, you see what I'm saying? That's a sick person. That's a sick people who can't see nothing that their own nation is doing because they so busy blaming it on others so that their nation could continue in the sin which y'all say they continue therein. Just so they can escape and look good to be something that they ain't. And they want the world to recognize them. The Christians that are walking in this world today that's being prosecuted they're losing their lives because of what they believe in. They're losing their lives. They do not have to go under your. Okay, I'm putting in this right now, Father. I'm putting in this. Listen to what I said. They do not have to go under the name that you say is his name, your denomination, your belief, your interpretation, the way you see things, the way you orchestrate it, the way you believe it. Guess why? Guess why? Then, therefore, you're going back to the power of who God is. What did he say about them? And what did he say about you in this curse? Did he say that they're going to go backwards? Did the curse say that they're going to know who you are? No. But when you get your tail up out of here, then they're going to know who you are. You're going to be cursed going out. They're going to know who you are out of here, not while you in this land, in this curse. What statement does it say they're going to know who you are? They're going to call you by your name. They're going to worship the God that you know. They're going to know the God name that you know. Where in the curse it says that they're going to stop doing the things that they're doing. He didn't say that. That's where you got to see that y'all got some on not just the four corners where he has scattered a people, but he still got a rams in the bush. That's where we deny the power. Just like in the beginning with Adam and Eve. We just think and just feel that he didn't create nobody but Adam and Eve. And when Cain and Abel, then the other little kids, Cain had his sister, had sex with her and had a baby. No. They were the first Adam and Eve. He created others, but we don't want to give him that power. How is it your power to give? Or why it got to be your way? All that power was speaking in the beginning and you missed it. You don't even know who us is. You don't even know who that is. But you know his A to Z. The reason why people can't get right is because they're somewhere in somebody else's Kool-Aid. They don't know how to focus on theirs. Every nation focus on their own people, except for the one I told you is the dumbest one on the face of the earth. The same people. They did that back then. They did it back in the Bible days, way back. In Genesis, they did that. That's why I said these people are really mental people. These people got some real issues. Because for thousands of years, have this same creator put these same people in captivity so many times, it's crazy. Go to Genesis to Revelation. Somewhere along the line, I'm going to do that. And see how many times he destroyed these same people. Abraham's seed. How many times he put Abraham's seed in captivity? How many times did he kill them by thousands? But then you want to make it look like we're all that answer and everybody else. No, baby, you the worst of the worst. That's why the other tribes were looking for Judah to be the leader. And if Judah ain't never did nothing, that's why the other tribes ain't never did nothing, because Judah never come out of what he was doing. And Jacob said he was going to be slothful anyway. So how is slothful saying that you're the you created this whole you built this whole country. Jacob said before he died, you're gonna be slumber. You ain't gonna get up. But you said you built this country. See, you really got to think now, y'all. You really got to think. Even when you go back to Deuteronomy 28, they won't accept Deuteronomy the end game, which is that you destroyed. But they say that they built this country. And they built this and they built that. In Deuteronomy 28 didn't give you all that credit. How did you get it? See, it's a lot of stuff you all been running behind and believing because of out of a muscle mouth of a man. And if you really go back to your drawing board right now, say for instance tomorrow, and you start tomorrow all the way up to Sabbath day, and you see, just look at TV and you see where all our men mindset, us, is at. Africa, they know we dumb. Everybody know we dumb, except for us. We blame everybody else for our stupidity. You would have to be dumb if a creator said you stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient thousands of years, even to today. You still just as worse. And all you got to tell the people, we can have many wives. Come on now. That's a mental issue. If we're running up on the end days and you sit here telling people about stuff that has to do with pleasure in the flesh is more important than salvation in the spirit, or loving on Yah, or getting to know him and putting him first and all that good stuff. Instead, you want to debate the world about you having many wives. Why? Because you've turned over. Yah has turned you over to a reprobated mind along with a strong delusion. No, you're a strong delusion, but all the other ones following you, they're strong delusions as well. Because it's poured out on the individual and it's going all in our men like crazy. Like crazy. And a lot of times, I'm going to tell y'all what's really sad about it. Men never did understand when you mess up, it triggers down to woman. It can't be woman mess up and moved up to you. It got to be going down. Y'all is not going to accept the fact that you want to blame women and children for who you are. And that's one of the biggest things in the face of the earth with the so-called House of Israel. They blame females for any and everything. And Yah has a question to ask you. How did you get here? And if you got here, how bad can she be? She took the 9 months and then went through the labor, and you hear. And this is something the men do not understand. That's why he connects everything to like to a woman that travail, trying to get them to feel this thing of a woman. They gone. They gone. They ain't gonna feel it, because he said if they can't feel me, and I'm the creator. He said if they can't feel me and I'm the creator, I don't expect them to feel me constantly saying to them, it's like to a woman in travail. They can't feel the need of a woman and for them to understand a woman, to where he says, calling everything a female entity. Wait a minute, Father, y'all. Everything a female entity? Come on now, Mother Earth. Everything he's saying, Israel, wife. Come on now. Daughter, Israel. Come on now. He's trying to get men for a long time to feel a woman. So Sister Deborah is going to have to cut off my computer, saying it's dying out. And I'm having a problem with this laptop. My son is telling me that they're going to have to do something with this. They may not try to throw my laptop away just so they can get another one. I like it. Okay, you guys, I love you all. I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. And I will say I will be back. Shalom and shalom.